Yes, my name is Kanhaiya Jha and I'm heading the Admission and Marketing Department for International College of Financial Planning. Just to give you a glimpse of who we are and what ISOFP does, International College of Financial Planning was established in 2002 by Bajaj Capital Limited to offer super specialized education in finance. ISOFP is the pioneer in financial planning education and the one who brought the Certified Financial Planner certification to India. ISOP is the first and largest authorized training provider of financial planning as standard board USA. Let's come back to our today's talk, seizing the opportunity, addressing the shortage of financial advisors in India. Please join us to invite Rishi Narang sir. He is a star faculty member of ISOP. He is a certified financial planner. He is a master in management. He is a master in management studies, specialization in finance. He holds over 15 years of experience in financial advisory and research. Thank you so much, Rishi sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Kanhaiya, for the wonderful introduction. Uh, um, so thank you for that. Let me invite everyone. Just give me 1 second. Uh, Good morning, friends. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm so happy to see more than 100 people, participants attending the session today, and who are really interested to understand about the personal finance space and how things stand today and what's the outlook for CFPs as a profession in India. So as my introduction says, there are massive opportunities. See, friends, try to understand. We all 100 people who have joined today, right? So we are at the cusp of India is at the cusp of making history, and we all of us are going to be, will be, shall be, definitely be witness to that history. So let's talk about how things are really happening. What is the undercurrent that I know and I want to communicate to everyone who's here today? India's GDP, according to the latest report which came out from Standard and Poor's, one of the leading rating agencies of the world, credit rating agencies of the world, plus also very, 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 and actually an authority on the trends that happen globally. So S&P, in one of the latest reports which came last week, said, and they are very bullish on the point that India's GDP is expected to double. Friends, it's expected to double in the next decade. In fact, they say in the next 8 years, we're expecting it to move up from 3.4 trillion, which is today, to almost double, which is $6.7 trillion. And that is going to happen. They say 8 years, I would say probably maybe taking a little bit here and there, maybe a decade. So we are in that decade space. We are going to see India's economy going double from what we are today in FY23. Definitely. And what is the reason for that to happen? S&P says that India is, we all know, India is right now the largest economy, which is growing at a good pace. We've seen the case how China is performing right now. Their housing market is in doldrums. That's not the case with India. All of our the growth parameters, the growth engines are working very, very smoothly right now. In fact, India has come very well out of the COVID situation, which is still impacting Europe, and we are seeing the things in the bad things that are happening with the real estate in China. So S&P says we expect roughly India to grow an average of around 6.7 to 7% over the next decade. And what would be the driver of this growth? What would be the driver? What will make India twice the size in the next decade? Friends, that is definitely going to be on the capital expansion. Yes, capital expansion that is going to go in the, which will happen in the economy. See, friends, try to understand. When the COVID struck, we know it very well, the corporates actually moved their hands back. There was a slowdown in the economy. You don't have many great projects to actually invest in. So corporates naturally, they would try to rein their financings, rein their funding, not get many new funds, and don't not to invest in new projects and all. But now the things, when they look so they look so prospective. So the engine this time for this decade is going to be the private capital uh, expansion. So corporates are expected to do big time of spending in India. I'm not only talking about Indian corporates, but in fact global corporates are going to come, set up shops here and make investments, make capital expansion is going to happen. So private sector, which was missing for so many years before, because there was 15, 16, 17, again, we knew that, the private sector is still not very comfortable. COVID struck, but now when they see that all the engines are firing very well, it's time to get into this and take it to the next level. So when I say the economy is expected to grow tremendously, naturally that is going to reflect on the per capita incomes. See, World Bank, I was reading a report, and World Bank says, again reflective, that the per capita GDP, which is in current US dollars, they say 22-34, it comes to around 1,80,000. So that is going to become around close to 4 lakh rupees in the next decade. So the GDP growth is going to be reflective in the incomes of people. And how does this really help us, people who, I am from the financial personal finance space, people, you all who are looking forward, or maybe you are interested to join this space, you want to understand the dynamics. I want to show you a particular chart here, friends. The individual taxpayers with income over 1 crore, just see the growth that has happened in it. I took these numbers from CBDT website in terms of people who are earning more than 1 crore. Friends, in the last 3 years, beginning 2020, it has jumped 51%. Of course, there was a dip in 21. That was because of the COVID issue, right? But that was just a little bit slight. I would call it. It's not a normal pattern. Exceptional, extraordinary case was there. But then, if I look at numbers in relation, in terms of time, in the last 3 years, from 20, 51% growth in the number of crorpatis. And if I look at from 2017, 1.5 times, we were around 70,000 people. Now it's more than, and I think 170 is just a number. I think there would be more than that now. So incomes definitely are going up. More people are becoming wealthier. More people are earning more. Their income levels are increasing. And what are the major reasons? The people in India are now, they are globetrotters. They know all the dynamics, all the things that happen in the world. The first one, friends, is the boom in the stock market. We've witnessed how the stock market has boomed after the COVID, how the markets have ramped up. That's because the India story is really, really true, and which everybody is acknowledging. We acknowledge here, the foreigners acknowledge here, and that's why the markets have ramped up like anything. The startup sector, so many unicorns which are there in India, and they've seen, they've gone for listings now, right? So they are now in the stock exchanges. The stocks are trading. So the entrepreneurs and the top management really made very good money in terms of the valuations. You even have, let's say, startups, the kind of valuations they're getting, the foreign people, they are interested to invest. So, right, the valuations that they get, that is basically the incomes or the kind of, capital that they're generating on that. Then growth in high paying jobs. Yes, if you have the talent today, there's no dearth in terms of high paying jobs when it comes to capable people who are highly skilled, highly trained. There was a time when, when highly skilled people in India, or people who used to think out of the box, they had to go abroad for getting the right career path. But that's not the case. These days you have similar kind of career paths, or even better, available in India. And then to some extent, moonlighting. Nobody, I think I have so many of my friends I meet, nobody is just based on, and that's the strategy. Don't be based on just one of your incomes, just the salary. You should have multiple sources of income. Your investments should work for you. I advise my clients that your investments are working day in, out. Your money is invested. It is working for you. You are sleeping, but the money is working for you. So same way, different careers in terms of, extra, in terms of, you can be, you can be someone who has a YouTube channel, you have followers, you're giving messages out to them. You can go for, providing trainings, doing some other hobby of yours, which you want to actually also make it a part-time work and an income producing element for you. So moonlighting is again something. These days, people have averaged around 2 to 3 kind of different places from which they're incomes are being generated. So that's the reason why when people become wealthier, right? When people become wealthier in terms of their incomes are increasing, there is the need, because they, whatever money they earn, right? So of course, they're going to also increase their spending, which is going to help the economy. But what about me? What about all of us who are sitting here? When they have more money, only then they will be requiring more need of trying to know the direction of investments. How do I earn so much amount of money? Is this the right track that I'm following? Maybe right, maybe not. So then there is a very strong need of financial advisors, right? Because of the growing incomes of Indians, right? It's we have the right, we have the right, all the elements are there in it, right? So let's see. So, but if the demand, as I'm saying, friends, the demand is rising for, for requirement for advisors. What is the current situation of the supply? Friends, there is something known as a SEBI registered investment advisor. In this case, friends, I'll give you a little sense of it. SEBI gives licenses to individuals who match the education and the experience requirement plus a certification. So let's say if someone who's a master's plus he has 5 years of BFSI experience and he comes with a certification like CFP. So he will be licensed by SEBI to practice as a registered investment advisor. He's free to provide advice to anyone and everyone in this country. But what is the current situation? We just have 1,300 around SEBI registered investment advisor, or I'll call them shortcut in short way as RIAs in India as of today. See, what do we see? Mutual fund portfolios, 15 crore. Demat account holders, another 12 crore. PAN card in total. I'm only taking PAN card holders which are linked with Aadhaar. Without the Aadhaar, also the number is pretty higher, more higher than 48 crores. So when you look at the presence of registered investment advisors, it is minimal. We can't compare, even if, just look at this number. In terms of mutual fund portfolios, 1 to 1,12,000. Can an RIA individually handle so many people? And this is just the numbers today, my friends. Just look at this chart here. Humongous growth is expected. If I only talk about the mutual fund industry, my friends, humongous growth is expected. We are right now at 43 lakh crores, right? We expected to become, the industry is expected to grow to 90 lakh crores by the end of the decade, right? That means there are two factors on it. One is more investments from the current investors, and second, a huge number of new people coming in and becoming investors in the Indian mutual fund industry. Who's going to serve that? That's a big question. How do they do it? So I'll discuss all of that. But this, I'm showing you that there's demand, but supply is extremely short here. We don't have enough RIAs, right? And the expectation of growth in terms of the different industries like mutual fund and all, it's going to be tremendous. And certain factors here, friend, I also want to just share a slight note on this. Why is the reason that the RIAs are only so less in India? See, everything which happens in India, India is a developing economy, right? We are trying to improvise on a lot of factors, on a lot of things. So same way, the current regulations of RIA, SEBI is very tightly micromanaging it. That's one of the things that is very big micromanage. Second is, there's a limit, and certain factors I just want to say is there's some limit on the fee that you can charge. Again, you also have to, segregate the clients that, if I have, let's say, I have clients whom I'm providing fee only advice, then I cannot provide them commission based. So those some elements which are there, which need improvisation. SEBI is working on it, and I'm sure it will become these regulations for SEBI RIA going to become much more easier for the participants, for the players who want to really become advisors, right? So that's one story, right? So let's try to see where are these RIAs based out of, friends. As we normally understand, right, the RIAs would definitely be like the largest number of RIAs, 521, are based out of Maharashtra. That's because Maharashtra is the leading state in terms of the contribution to GDP, the contribution to taxation, right? So that's why you have, the major people, most people who are earning very high incomes is based out of Maharashtra and in fact Bombay. So then that's why you will find more of RIAs over there. And only So if you leave the top 6, which includes, the second is Madhya Pradesh, you have Karnataka, Gujarat, Delhi, and Tamil Nadu. The rest of India only has 22% of RIAs, right? So it's not very well diversified, the availability of RIAs. I'm just talking about the RIAs right now, right? So, but I can bet on this very clear point that with the economic growth which is expected, I expect greater distribution of wealth that is going to happen. It is going to be distributed across states. It's not going to be these 6 states that can chase that kind of a growth, right? How will the 90 lakh crore growth in the size of the mutual fund industry is going to come? That's only when there are much more participation from the other states as well. So plus there's also an element of financial awareness. You guys must be aware of the mutual fund Sahi Hai campaign, right? That's really worked wonders for bringing one awareness to Indians, and second to bringing some more confidence that yeah, it is wo sahi hai, mutual fund sahi hai. So that's the reason, one of the major drivers of how the spectacular growth which mutual fund industry has seen, right? So I am uh, really looking forward that the income levels are going to get much more diversified. There'll be much more activity in on backed by the increasing awareness about what is investments, what are the different products which are available in the market for investments, right? So SEBI is there to guide, to look at whether mutual fund players, the fund managers, are doing it properly. So there's some kind of confidence. We have structures in place. It's all about communication that's not very well been given to the people here. So then I look forward to things like there's going to be a huge requirement of advisors across the country, and not only in these 6 states. So uh, who fills for the missing RIS? I told you the X amount of numbers right now and the growth that we are looking at, right? And we just have 1331 RIS. Who fills for these missing RIS, or who fills the shoes for financial advisors in India? See, we have 2,500, close to around 2,500 CFPs are there as of December 22. The numbers must have increased now. So these CFPs, many of them, they practice as commission based, in terms of they take a mutual fund distributorship, right, and then they do full comprehensive advisory, but then their income is based on the commissions only. Plus few of them are also operating at RIS. Yes, CFPs are allowed if they have the requisite education and experience, and CFP as a certification is certainly valid when it comes to, if I want to avail and become a licensed RIA from SEBI. There are another 140,000 mutual fund distributors, right? Who again who fill in the shoes of this missing element of financial advisors. But what we've seen is they mostly deal with mutual funds. And usually their advice is single product based, because they don't have knowledge about, let's say, about insurance, about how do you do, what is retirement strategy, what is taxation element. So they just usually stick to how do you make investments using mutual funds. Then you have a plethora of bank relationship managers, right? But again, there is some amount of biasness. If you deal with an RM once, twice, thrice, then you will understand that at the end of your third discussion, he again comes back, usually tries to sell his own products, because that's the way it is. He's being hired, let's say, by one of the firms, so he is going to give you maybe you might want he will give you a bigger set of let's say investment options, but then ultimately he'll try to see that you get to only invest in the firms that whether he is interested or whether he's working with. Then comes chartered accountants, of course, who are the old people who used to provide advisory. CAs were one of them. My dad used to go to CA for his investment advice. But again, friends, it's not a primary focus for them. They're more on the taxation side, right? They've, based on their personal, it could be their awareness or their interest in this field. If they're interested in personal finance, then that CA can be a very good advisor. But at times, and most of the times I've seen, that's not the case, because their focus is different. Plus they don't have a certification when it comes to specific certification about personal finance advisory or personal advisory, if I put it. Then friends, insurance agents be play karte at times, but then again their knowledge is only limited to insurance. If I go to an insurance agent, he might tell me, fine, if you want to design your retirement, fine, I can suggest you some insurance products which are retirement focused. But then again, it has to be linked with insurance only because that is what he knows. His knowledge is limited to that. And then finally, out of all of that, you have the DIY investors, do it yourself. People who maybe they are based out of a state where you don't have access, they don't have access to RIS, or they don't have actually a lot of financial awareness which is there with them. So what do they do? We've all seen this. I'm sure everybody here would acknowledge this fact that we have had a method. When I started working, what I used to be, relying on my friends, listening to them. Okay, fine, this is the way they used to do it. Family, and then of course news. But these days you have this new element which is finfluencers. A lot of people track finfluencers like anything. So when they track influencers, right, we've seen SEBI has penalized some of these influencers also because of the fact that at times they've seen their advice is also biased. They are front running for maybe some for some brokers. So they would only advise products from those brokers. So that's where SEBI found some conflict of interest. And we've seen, you must have read in the news that they have been fined. And now I've heard that there is a regulation that is supposed to come in for how do these influencers operate on YouTube, on Telegram, on Twitter, or whatever the case is, right? But my personal experience working with DIY, when I meet clients and it's the first time they say, we are working on our own. What I've seen, friends, is either their portfolios are extremely risky because they don't understand how do we match our risk appetite with our requirement. Either it is too risky or it is too defensive, right? So when usually these portfolios will not help them hedge inflation or in terms actually matching their goals. So when they actually get into this thing whereby the goals are not matching, so they feel that this investment is not for us. The Let us get back to the savings accounts and the fixed deposits, and that's about it. So then, because the DIY don't have, you might find a good platform to make investments, but do you really know how to do it? Not really. So then there is extreme requirement of financial advisors, which is missing in India as of the moment, and we all are witness to it. Let's look at I have prepared a checklist, friends. I just wanted to test the different careers with in terms of who is the ideal choice for uh, being the right financial advisor. So what are the parameters? Who does he possess a specialist certificate in personal finance? I'm trying to compare CFP with all of these. CFP has that. And RIA might have if he is a CFP certificate or not. MFDs don't have a personal finance specialist certification. They're just focused on mutual funds. Bank anams usually don't have, CAs don't have. Their curriculum is completely different. Their work area, their specialization is very, very different. Can he provide holistic goal-based financial planning? CFPs, yes. That's what is being trained to them. RIAs, yes. RIA is supposed to give that. His fee-only advisory is based on that. He has to provide the entire thing, right? Again, MFDs, RMs, and CS don't really do that. They might only provide you product-wise advice, right? Maybe for some goal, but not a holistic, not your entire financial life. They're going to design that and help you reach your goals, right? Experience to utilize multiple financial products to build investment strategy. CFPs are trained. You will be imparted knowledge about all the investment products in terms of based on whatever the asset classes are, right? So that is something, and CFPs will use, they will be using mutual funds, they'll be using insurance. So they'll be using and they'll be designing strategies. They might be using some specific products also, products for which may be market link kind of notes or maybe debentures. So multiple products that they can use, fixed income bonds, they'll use all of that to design a strategy. But when an RIA would again do that, right? But can MFDs, RMs, and CS do it? Again, not really. It only depends on if somebody is really interested and he's heard about and read about how do bonds really work, and can that be included in my client's strategy. CFPs are specialists on that. Follow rigorous standards of competency, ethics, and professionalism. Friends, as CFPs, rigorous standards of competency, because you've cleared those 4 levels. If you clear those levels, the CFP board, FPSP board understands that yes, you have the metal and you have the skill sets, you've attained those skill sets over your journey. That is going to help you be the best when it comes to advising on personal finance. Then Ethics, yes, primary factor that we have to keep in mind. We have to keep and we have to disclose our conflicts of interest and manage our conflicts of interest. That is one of the major ethics of being practicing as a CFP. That's not the case with MFDs. We hear it many times, that the mutual fund distributors SEBI is not happy with the point that there's a lot of a lot of times the investments are being liquidated for some gains and all. RMs might also. So that is something where CFPs are are an individual type of advisors who do keep this in mind, and they are, because they are being monitored by the board, they have to maintain these practices and professionalism. Of course, highly professionals in their approach to the work, right? Then friends, adequate disclosure. I told you, I think I discussed about the disclosure of client and management of conflict of interest. CFPs and RIAs are supposed to do it. For CFPs, it's the FPSP board which is looking at that. For RIAs, SEBI is monitoring that. But for MFDs, RMCS, sorry, there is no one who's monitoring this thing for them. And as a client, friends, I would certainly like that, okay, fine, whatever you might be getting in terms of commissions or what, at least I have knowledge of it. I should be aware of it, that, that, okay, disclosures are properly done with, then let me decide whether I want to continue with you or I want to go with you or not. So that disclosures don't come from the other parties. It comes from the CFPs and the RIAs. And most important, friends, provide behavioral coaching. When the markets crashed, when the markets crashed during the COVID times, and it crashes many times. The stock markets, we all know it has a cycle, right? Up and down. So then you would find investors getting panicked, people coming to you to CFPs, or maybe to every advisors. What do we do? We are losing money here. Their CFPs are trained to provide behavioral coaching. So they'll try to calm them. They'll try to advise that equities, I have designed this strategy because I know your age, risk appetite, what is your time horizon. Equities will be volatile in the short term. So don't worry on that. On long-term basis, there is the empirical evidence that equities always outperform all the other asset classes. Inflation adjusted basis also. So then, that overreaction, they'll try to provide coaching and to actually make the clients understand that they should avoid reacting to market noise, because that you sit in front of the TV every day, that CNBC, so you will get panicked at times, because when you see the reds everywhere. So that is something which the CFPs also provide coaching, and that continues for years and years. Ultimately the client himself becomes mature in terms of how do I do the right investments, what's the way of actually what's the right attitude to be an investor. I put it that way, right? So then, and I want to show you an example of how does a CFP approach a financial goal versus any other advisor who's not a CFP. See, let's see this gentleman's case whereby Varun, 45-year-old, approaches a CFP and other advisor. So he's trying to see all the elements. He's trying to find out which is the best guy to go along with to plan his retirement goal. Now, see, how does the CFP take such a structured approach here? First question, how much monthly cash flow required post-retirement? So this is something based on the discussion. So the CFP is going to sit with Varun and decide, okay, what is your current? So I as a CFP would try to find out what is your current lifestyle, right? What are your expenses? Do you also want to donate something? So I would try to see, because everyone would like to live the same way that they were doing before retirement. Why to curtail it? Why to live miserably after that if it's not planned properly? So then I will try to discuss this with him, and I'll try to define a smart goal. Would a non-CFP advisor try to do it? Not really. He will say, okay, fine. How much can you invest so I can put 10,000 rupees per month? Fine. So let's see 50 lakh rupees ka aapka ek na corpus bana dete retirement ka, that should be sufficient. Is there any back calculation? Is there any kind of a scenario testing that's been done? Not really. And then I will ask him, when is it required? Timeline. It helps me in asset allocation. I was talking about equities, right? If it is after 30 years, I'll try to put more in equities, but it is, let's say, 10 years, then I'll have to balance it out. I cannot put exclusively in equity, because then the point is going to be that maybe if the market's correct, his retirement goal, the corpus he wanted to actually accumulate, would not really happen. Risk profile assessment. Certainly, I'll ask him to fill a risk analysis questionnaire. Try to find out whether what type of an investor he is, what is his personality, whether he's a conservative, he's a moderate, or he's a high risk taker. I'll define my asset allocation based on that. Factoring inflation, major element, friends. It happens, see, today something is 1 lakh rupees. Do you think it after let's say 8 years or 10 years, do you think that's going to be 1 lakh? Not really. It will double, more than double also. See the inflation in India right now. So the CFP will definitely factor in inflation in all the goals that is designed. So investment strategy is going to be designed on that. That we have to put in more money because you have to not meet your requirement in terms of today's expenses, but in terms of inflation adjusted expenses, right? Asset allocation I've already discussed. Then portfolio rebalancing. With the markets have really moved up, do you think as a CFP, would I leave my client like that? I will always advise him, let's get back to the original asset allocation that I did. If I did 60% in equities for you, and you are right now at 75 based on the growth in the equity market, fine, let's get it back. Let's rebalance the portfolio, right? Because ultimately, what's going to happen? There is a chance that you might lose on what you've gained. So then, trying to do rebalancings in terms of, so that he's moving to, the client is moving towards the goal very thoroughly. He's well planned. I have made him very well planned for that. Risk management. How does risk management come in place? Before the goal, I would try to bring him. Let's say I'll try to liquidate his investments in equities and try to make it liquid. Let's say 1 year, 1 or 2 years before. I'll try to maybe do a structured way of doing it, or maybe I'll do it in one go. I was speaking to a very senior financial CFP and a financial advisor. So he said, I to do it 3 years, 4 years pehle kar deta, because I have seen it doesn't make really much sense. Normally, the our way of designing it is that at least 4 years before, he has the sufficient amount of copper. So what's the point of taking the risk that way? But I do it normally 2 years before it. But these are things which I would not be even in the thought process of non-CFP advisors, because they don't have the skill sets. They've not been trained on that. CFPs are financial planning specialists, my friend. That's a gold certification. And then it's not only for the new people who want to get into this industry and they think that they can make a very good career out of the personal finance or personal advisory space. For the existing participants also, people who are existing advisors or who are mutual fund distributors, CFP does bring in a lot of value addition. Upskilling comes in. One is that, from just being someone who is talking only about products, you can start talking about, you can change the communication to goal-based financial planning, right? That I am now a personal financial planner. And how do I do it? You can add more verticals, because that is what you will be trained on. So then you can add retirement planning as part of your business. Tax planning can also be. Insurance can also be an element, and estate planning. I have seen CFPs exclusively only doing retirement planning or estate planning. Good business which comes out of that, right? So it's not only about the new guys, but also for the existing people who are in this space. It's time to upskill, because clients require better services. They want value add. They come to you, they say, fine, this is what you do. You provide us the mutual fund portfolio disclosures, and you give us updates. But what next? What more value you can add to us? So the answer to that is, if you do CFP. So friends, now I would share details about the CFP program at ICFP. Friends, this is the topmost gold standard certification in personal finance. It's recognized in 27 countries. It's a gold standard, as I said, right? It's a unique 4-in-1 certification program. There are 4 levels to it. When you clear one level, you get the FPSP board gives you a certificate. Let's say if you clear level 1, you get the investment planning certification. Investment specialist certification is what you actually get. And then these certificates are coming from FPSB, the board which controls the CFP practice globally. It is ideal for students, professionals. For students, let's say people who are in their graduations, by the time they're finishing their graduation, they will have a gold standard certification, an international certification, which gives them a designation that this gentleman or this lady is a specialist in personal finance. Of course, there is some amount of experience requirement, which I'll discuss it. But ideal for students, then professionals,
Rishi sir, you can unmute yourself. I just muted everyone.
upskilling. I was talking about professionals upskilling themselves, need of the hour, financial advisors upskilling themselves. Then the curriculum is focused on finance and wealth, right? That's the focus, because money management is going to be our business, how to advise clients. So that is why it is curated. The curriculum is curated for that. It's a short-term course. 8 to 10 months is typically what it will be taking from start to end. Okay, so I think this I've already explained. What is the eligibility? Minimum requirement from the board is 10+2. So anyone who's 18 plus years of age can think of joining his persuasion of CFP course. There's no restriction in terms of streams or ages or percentages, because it's not that you have to be specifically from commerce or science, or you can be from any one of them, or whatever percentages you've got. That's okay with the board. And as I was mentioning about students, yes, for getting the certificate, there is a minimum requirement of you require to be a graduate and minimum 3 years of experience in BFSI space. But for people who are in the industry, that should not be an issue. But for students, or maybe people who are in graduation, we can support, we can help you provide 1 year of supervised articleship under a CFP. That is also equivalent considered for as experience, valid experience for granting the certificate from the FPSP board. Program structure, friends. It's a multi-level program. It is basically divided into 4 levels. And these 4 levels will have 10 modules. When I say modules, you have 10 different subjects to study. It's a very comprehensive program, friends. And when it comes to the final level, you have to submit a 360-degree holistic financial plan to the board, because the board wants to be thoroughly sure that you know how to construct a financial plan even before you've been granted the certification. So that comes in the final level. Assessments, friends, we have the exams for level 1 to level 3. They happen every month. So every month you have the exam, and these exams can be taken online, sitting at home or at office as well, plus at NSE centers if you want to do it. And there is no negative marking when it comes to these exams. There's no negative marking. Okay. So let's talk about the curriculum now, friends. So level 1, friends, has got 3 modules. The first one is known as the personal financial management. And this, friends, trust me, is the building block of the CFP. If you understand personal finance management, you really are on the fast pace of becoming CFPs. So what does it include? It includes things like how do you design, how do you actually plan an emergency fund for a client? Secondly, how do you make a budget, or how do you explain, or how do you analyze a budget in terms of whether the client is really putting money in investment, or is he really having so much of discretionary expenses. So you need to advise the client to actually better manage his monthly cash flow which comes in terms of the incomes and the outflow, which is expenses. Then the best element in it is, friends, is the time value of money. Time value of money, power of compounding is something that we'll be training you on in personal finance, for personal financial management. Second, friends, is known as investment planning, asset management. We'll be training you, we'll be helping you understand all about the different asset classes, which is equities. We'll talk about fixed incomes, we'll talk about real estate, we'll talk about golds. We'll do all of that with you. We'll even explain you this. You will come to know about all the investment products which come under these asset classes. Then, friends, we'll talk about we'll explain you how do you do asset allocation for a client. It is based on the age, the risk appetite. How do you design a risk questionnaire for a client, and also the time horizon. Then we will explain you what is portfolio risk, how do you analyze portfolio risk, and how do you do portfolio rebalancing, as I was discussing it some time back. Then the third one, friends, is regulatory environment, legal compliances. See, the personal finance advisory space is basically, it is this is a space whereby there are so many, you have regulators there. In capital markets, we have SEBI, for banks, we have RBI. So there is monitoring that is happening. So this module is going to help you understand what are the regulatory laws, what are the compliances that someone has to follow and maintain when it comes to the personal finance advisory space. Fine. So the next one, friends, level 2 is retirement planning and tax planning. See, friends, the point is we can have different goals, all of us, but retirement is one goal which each and every one of us should plan for. This is something we all are going to get aged. We all are going to be, after out of our job. So we need money, right? We need cash flows to sustain ourselves. So in this module, you will be trained about how do you design the accumulation stage and how do you actually design the withdrawal process of retirement. We'll be discussing about all the different retirement products. How do they actually function? What happens? How can we design the bucket strategy? So there's lot of dynamics that you'll be learning about. Then comes tax planning. You'll be taught about all the 5 heads of income. It will be salary, house property. You have capital gains, capital gains is one, friends, which you cannot miss. If I'm in the if I'm in the advisory space, I should know about capital gains because clients are buying and selling investment products and they would like to know the taxation element of that as well. Plus residency status. You will also have some amount of information shared about how do you do cross-border taxation. So very, very interesting module is tax planning in CFP. Third, when you go to level 3, friends, you have risk management, insurance, and estate planning. See, I'm very, very sure that post-COVID, people have, Indians have, as us, we all have become very, very sensitive to the topic that, we need to have sufficient risk covers when it comes to life as well as health. So risk management, where you will be trained about how do you actually do the mathematics on it? How do you do the human life value calculations? So that, and how do you actually assess the, you do the gap analysis of the existing risk cover. So the very, very interesting elements to understand. Then estate planning, friends. Each one of us who's working for their families, we're doing it day in, day out. All our aim is to generate money, to generate wealth, so that it can be transformed easily, peacefully to our future generations. But what if it's not been planned properly? Families if a person doesn't do proper estate planning, trust me, friends, I say it's a disservice to the family. It becomes a real mess for the family to, for them to get the money, to get access to the funds. There's a delay, and that really, really leads to huge hardships that they have to face. So then estate planning will help you understand, and then understand how do you do estate planning, how do you design trust structures, what is the best way, can gifting be better, or can you also do something like how do you basically draft a will. So we'll discuss all of that when it comes to estate planning. So as I said, friends, when it comes to level 4, we have the financial planning process. Yes, of course, that is going to be discussed with you as to what is the best way of doing financial planning. Engaging clients. Yes, we'll also talk about how you guys can actually engage with clients to make them really, really very long-term, add them in your long-term clientele. Developing financial plans. I discussed about the 360-degree financial plan assessment that has to be submitted to the board, right? That's about the capstone project and case studies. And then you have the final CFP final exam, after which you get the certification. Let me go to the next slide, friends. Learning outcome. What are the knowledge and skills that this journey of CFP that is going to impart you? It's going to be, you can become specialist on personal finance, wealth management. You'll be learning about tax planning, investment laws, succession laws, behavioral finance. We'll also be talking about how can you help your clients, to see that they don't take wrong decisions. Investment psychology. So we'll do a lot of skills. That's something that you can really look forward to when you join CFP. It's an international certification, and that's the way it has been designed. Career ready. Banking, financial services is one of the major places where people who are new to this industry can look forward to jobs. Wealth management, it's a very, very growing avenue for jobs these days, because if Indians are earning more, then there is definitely requirement for wealth management, and that is what we are discussing here all about. You can even get into brokerage houses. And the best element is you can start your own practice. Yes, friends, you can do that. People come to us and they say, we want to start up an RIA practice, or I want to start a commission based. Yes, you will be ready to do that. All you require is to get through this course and to get the certification. Some people can also become financial coaches. These days, it's a very big opportunity to become coaches, to be guest faculties like me. I give sessions at ICFP. Now, friends, coming to uh, International College of Financial Planning, which is the largest education provider of CFP program in India. Friends, we are part of the Bajaj Capital Group, which is, I'm sure you must have heard of Bajaj Capital, which is a 6-decade uh, old, highly trusted financial services company. In fact, if I would put it, friends, the CFP program in India was brought by ICFP because they felt the need that, fine, we are in this business, but we feel there's a gap. We don't have very good advisors, or advisors are not able to give the right advice which is required for clients. The gap was found, the need was decided, and then this course was brought from the US. And since 2002, ICFP has been the largest player in terms of the CFP program. Most experienced and qualified CFP faculties. Friends, all our faculties are either minimum they are CFPs, they also are CAs, CFAs, you even have PhDs at times. Practicing CFPs are mentors and coaches. Former FPSB India director, Madam Madhu Sinha, is our program head of CFP and in fact the dean of ICFP college. Highest number of CFP certificates come from ICFP, and our passing percentages are way high than what the competitors have. We have, friends, a consistent track record of 21 years. In fact, I can say the curriculum, the curriculum that came was actually designed on, it was curated to Indian requirements. I mean, in the initial sense, ICFP got a US-based curriculum, but then it was thought that we need to Indianize it because not everything is common to what happens in the US. So that's the way is the kind of an inherent contribution of ICFP to this CFP practice in India. So these are some of the ICFP, the alumni who are stalwarts in the personal finance space. Shri Anil Chopra ji is Group Director Corporate Affairs as Bajaj Capital. Right, he's one of the senior most CFPs in the company. Colonel Sanjeev Gobilla is a CFP and he has Hum Fauji RI. It's an RIA firm based out of Delhi. So he is our alumni. Suresh Sadagopalan, you must have heard of his name. Very prominent person who speaks on personal finance in the media. His firm Ladder 7, he operates Ladder 7 is his firm's name. It's again an RIA firm. He's again an alumni. Lavay Navlaki, MD and CEO of International Money Matters, is again our alumni. Very prominent faces in the personal finance space. You guys can go and search search their names. Some of the other noted alumni of ICFP are Gaurav Mashruwala, Dilshad Bilimuria. She also operates an RIA firm based out of Bangalore. We have Puneet Oberoi, we have Shilpi Jori, we have Bhuvna Sriram, Kalpesh Asher, Anant Lada. Very prominent people. So all the veterans, all the first people to whom anybody would look for getting guidance on personal finance in India are alumni of International College of Financial Planning. Coming to the study options, friends. We provide, these days, we had classroom sessions earlier, but after COVID, we haven't started it as yet. We have Zoom. We provide you online sessions via Zoom. So you will have instructed lessons, instructor-led classes on Zoom. You can choose. We have sessions both on weekdays as well as weekends. So option is available to you. You can decide based on your availability and your in terms of what's your idea, how soon you want to do it. And then these sessions are recorded. Yes, friends, you are even provided. You can access those sessions later on. The other element is, friends, if someone who doesn't want to take virtual classes whereby the faculty comes and teaches, you have the e-learning option. So what happens in e-learning is you will be provided pre-recorded sessions. Same faculties like us who've pre-recorded the sessions so that they are available at your own pace. So whenever you want to study, you can study. So that's the e-learning. This is recommended for people who have a background on finance and who have a very, very, very busy schedule, so that they can do it at their own pace, depending upon how soon or how later they want to do it. So two options that we offer at the moment to you, to everyone who's here, is one is the virtual option where you have the faculties coming in and they're giving the session, imparting knowledge for 2 hours and doing the Q&As and discussing it. The second one is e-learning sessions. Of course, the hand-holding also continues with e-learning, that faculties would certainly come in and help you wherever it is required. But the basic is pre-recorded sessions. India's most comprehensive CFP study material that I can vouch on, friends, is it comes from ICFP. We for every module, friends, we'll provide you the concept book, we'll provide you the workbook. You have guest lectures from we provide guest lectures so that the candidates are abreast on what's happening in the personal finance space from our alumni and also from other people in the industry, because ICFP is a big name and Bajaj Capital, again, the parent company, is a much bigger name. Then we also provide, as I said, the pre-recorded videos, which candidates can refer on later for getting better clarity. Online mock tests are provided so that people can come to know what are the gaps that they have, how much more preparation they need to do. And friends, we keep on updating these mock tests based on the feedbacks that we get from our existing students who are appearing in various levels. So based on that, we keep on updating it to understand what is the new pattern from the board, so that our candidates are well prepared on this. The faculties provide regular assignments in these sessions so that candidates can continue their preparation during when they're attending the sessions as well. Doubt clearing sessions do happen. Minimum one doubt session happens during, let's say somebody wants to appear for exam, so he will have a doubt session there. Even if before even that, if somebody requires to clear doubts, we can always arrange for one-on-one sessions. That much flexibility is provided at ICFP, right? So this is all about our course material. Let's talk about the FPSB board fees now. Friends, there are basically two pathways in how one can go for the CFP journey. So I'll talk about the regular pathway one. Regular pathway is one, friends, where you have to clear 4 levels. So level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. And I showed you the modules in the previous slide. So when someone wants to go for the regular pathway, the registration fee of FPSB, which is valid for 1 year, is 18,000 rupees, 18,000. Then FPSB has made it mandatory that ebooks have to be purchased from them. Right. So but we don't have to make a lump sum payment on that. We can always do it piecemeal basis as we move forward across in different levels. Right. So for level 1 to level 3, the ebook fee is 6,500 rupees. And for final level 4, if you call it, it is 13,000 rupees. In total, it comes to around 32,500. FPSB exam, I told you, right? The exams happen every month for level 1 to level 3. So for the exam fee, friends, for level 1 to level 3, the fee is 6,750 rupees. When it comes to CFP final, the final exam, the fee is 13,000 rupees. Okay. And I was discussing to you that in level 4, we have to submit a financial plan to the board for approval, which is again mandatory for all. The fee for that is 10,500. So this is the fee for someone who wants to join the regular pathway, which means doing all levels, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. Then, friends, there's another pathway which is known as the challenge pathway. There's a different route. It's a short route. But the board requires that there is some element of education and experience is required in this case. Education, any person who's a CA or a CFA, or he's a master's in finance, maybe a postgraduate in economics, commerce, or financial planning, can think of joining the challenge pathway and getting the certification much quicker. But you also need 3 years, minimum 3 years of experience in the BFSI sector. So people who are having this education plus they are into this industry, BFSI industry, can certainly look forward to doing the certification much quicker. I would say, I think in 6 months itself. So what is the fee that FPSB charges for the challenge pathway? Friends, there's a validation fee, 5,000 rupees. Validation is the fee charged by board for checking your whether whatever information you've provided in terms of education experience, does it really hold true or not. And in fact, friends, if it holds true and yes, they are fine, they're okay with it, so they'll give an approval. Plus, friends, this validation fee can certainly be utilized for it can be adjusted against the other fees. The registration and FPSB component, friends, the second one. So again, for registration plus getting the content, the total fee is 34,000 rupees that has to be paid to the board. Again, financial plan assessment. So in this case, challenge pathway, friends, people will not have to go through the level 1, level 2, level 3. They will straight away go, they will do the studies for this challenge pathway, and they'll straight away move to the level 4, whereby they have to submit the financial plan, which costs 10,500, and then they'll finally appear for the CFP final exam. So that's about the challenge pathway. But of course, as I said, here there is a minimum requirement of education and experience. Otherwise, people have to resort to go to the regular pathway. Coming to ICFP, our fees. What will we charge you for, to giving you that skill set, to making you ready for appearing in these exams and to get this journey completed? When it comes to virtual classes online, friends, whereby I told you that, the faculties are going to be there live in front in these, and you will be part of the Zoom session with the faculties. The lump sum is, the total, friends, is 60,000 rupees. Of course, one can certainly take the benefit of paying a lump sum for this, which comes to 44,900 rupees. The other element I told you, e-learning recorded sessions, whereby pre-recorded sessions are provided. The gross fee for that is 44,000 rupees, friends. And if someone is interested and he can pay in lump sum, then you will certainly get a discount of 9K, and the fee comes to close to around 35,000 rupees. So that's about the ICFP fees. Then, friends, is about the challenge pathway, which I told you, right? The quicker element, where in 6 months, someone with the requisite education and experience can pursue the challenge pathway. Friends, there the fee from our side is 25,000 rupees. And in this, we will certainly provide them with all the course book. Project monitoring will also happen for the financial plan, which will happen for all the virtual and e-learning everyone. So that will same happen for challenge pathway, and they'll also be having access to the doubt clearing sessions, which happen with us regularly. Special offer for the day, friends. See, friends, you guys have joined us today and you are interested to listen to what's the store in the personal finance space, right? So then, flat 10% discount if someone wants to enroll today. And you just have to pay 5,000 rupees, friends, to enroll with us today. And the offers don't stop at just the 10% discount. We will also be providing you some discount on the FPSP content fee. I told you about that. We have to compulsory, anyone who wants to go for FCFP has to compulsory buy FPSP material. So we'll also provide you discount coupons for that, which comes to close to around 14,000 rupees of discount you can avail of. Then NISM 5A learning videos. So if someone who wants to also add the mutual fund distributor certification and get the ARN generated for himself, he can certainly look at these videos, 15 hours videos, and then appear for the exam and get this NISM 5A certification. On top of that, we also know people who are coming in finance would certainly be interested in the stock markets. So how do you improve your knowledge on stock market? We are there to help you with that. So we'll also provide you a stock market learning app, which has close to 7 hours of training on everything about technical analysis. Friends, the cost of this NISM 5A and stock market learning app, which we charge in the market, is 5,000 rupees each. So we are giving this additional benefit of 10,000 for people who are going to join us today. So what's the total discounts or offers you have in store today? You'll save 10% on the CFP course fee. Secondly, I told you there's saving on the on the content fee. And then these two learning apps worth 5,000 each, which are being given to you. So in total, you can save up to 29,000 rupees. Just see the offer, friends, that we are offering today to you. And if people who want, let's say, a student loan, yes, we can arrange it through a third party. It will be 0% interest. Okay. So, and 6 easy EMIs will be arranged. We can work that out for you as well, but you only have to pay 5,000 today to register with us. So, and you can call on this number to make your registrations and come along this side to join the CFP journey with us. I think with this, I'll end my presentation. Over to you, Kanhaiya. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. Ranjeev, sir, I would request you to come on and if you want to speak something.
Thank you so much, Kanaya. Thank you so much for giving the opportunity. It was Rishi's amazing session. He was hearing the session, and I was wondering when we were there in at my life as managers or wealth managers. Certain these kind of sessions were never there to enlighten us. This about this aspect about CFP. Amazing. I mean, I was to everyone who is in this program, I can tell you that whatever inputs which have been given by Rishi is something which you will not hear from anyone, because this is something we are doing exclusively. And believe you me, this is an amazing time to get yourself, certified as a CFP programmer, basically. Why? Because India is going. I will share certain antidotes with you. Just three. I will not take more than 5-10 minutes of yours. Just to add up what Rishi was sharing, regarding India's growth and what we are going through. I can tell you, India is going through an unprecedented transformation in the history of the world. And I will share three facts with you. And I know it's a strong statement, but to back it up, I'm going to share a few numbers. Total FDI India, which has received since 1947, has been roughly about $950 billion. That is the whole. I'm talking about since 1947, 70-year plus. But out of which 532 billion has come in just 90 months. You can imagine the kind of growth we are going through. And one more amazing fact about this: it has come from 162 countries. It is a global record. Let me tell you one thing, and it has come from 8 consecutive years, and from 162 countries. Can you imagine that? The kind of growth, the kind of wealth India will create going forward. And it has come across fact to you, across 61 sectors. It's a global record again. In the history of global economy, it has never happened. So you can imagine where we are going. We have got close to, the breadth of opportunity. India is unprecedented. Yeah, I can tell you that. No other country has got such FDI. India is just starting its transformation. Another important fact, it is not coming across big cities. Metros generally, when we talk about, as Rishi was sharing that slide, the kind of CFPs are getting across India. But just to add to that, the kind of money which is flowing in India is not limited to certain states or 7 big metros. It is across 31 states and UTs. It is across. It's a bottom-up approach right now going on in India. And India is total GDP is 3.67 trillion. It took us first trillion took us 67 years, and the rest took us only 8 years. Can you imagine what is happening? It's huge. It's unprecedented. And just to add it up, what we at Bajaj, and ICFP call it, we are in Amrit Kal. India is entering into Amrit Kal. I hope you all understand. आप समझते होंगे सारे कि what does Amrit Kal means? It's like the best time for a country. And when the best time of the country comes, that is the time when the maximum wealth is generated. And next 10 years, when I do sessions in wealth management or market, I tell them that this decade belongs to India. What India couldn't do for last 70 years, India will do in this 10 years. So that's the huge growth we are looking at. And I'm not talking about numbers. Numbers I've already shared by Rishi. I don't want to back it up, right? So what is there for you as CFPs? So in today's day and age, when I go outside, when I travel, and I meet people, I see people, जो हमारे customers हैं, जो investors हैं, they are fighting. They're fighting a Mahabharat. Why? They're living a life like a Mahabharat because they don't know how to plan their financials. How to do financial planning. They are just taking tips or asking some relative, but no holistic approach. So it's like a Mahabharat for them every day. And CFP for me plays a role of Lord Krishna in their life. You are the Lord Krishnas in their life. The three most important aspects of that are ethics, because what you could tell is purely based on knowledge, your competency, your commitment towards that goal of financial planning. So these things make a hell of a difference. you know so you have to understand why this course is important. And let me tell you one thing, the demand for this will grow. It's kind of an investment for today. You invest today for making billions and millions for tomorrow, as a career or as a entrepreneur, whatever way you look at. But you have to start today. वो हमारे बोलते हैं ना हिंदी में, आज करे सो अब करे सो आज, सॉरी दैट कहावत है हमारी, कल करे सो आज करे सो अब. So that is how it has to be. You don't think about it. It's about starting right now. When you start right now, things will move in life. And as Rishi rightly said, and there are a lot of wealth managers who are there in the market, a lot of IRS, whatever the slide Rishi said, the kind of people who are giving advisory. But I can tell you, none can match you. Today, the problem is of trust. Trust is the Today the problem is of trust. The trust is not there. The kind of the advisory they're getting. Sometimes they think a kind of insurance advisor. He might be selling a product which is basically higher revenue generating, or a mutual fund player who's sending us, so he's making more commission, right? But with CFP, we teach you ethics, the right selling. That is the most important. I can tell you, going forward, ethics will play a big role in advisory. Today, it's like everybody, कहते हैं बहती गंगा में हाथ बहा रहे हैं, but future is in CFP. So that is my limited point I wanted to make, that it's the right time, it's the right platform, and it's coming from a company called Bajaj Capital, who has a 60 plus years experience. It has seen all the times in the market. And I mean, Bajaj sir itself, they are pioneers of this, and they've set up this company like that. And that's why we took up, we are the only company in this country who's running this program as a company who's into wealth management. No other company, no other bank for that matter. So there is a reason why we are running that. You have to value that. आपको ये समझना पड़ेगा सबको, right? So this is my limited point. Yeah, yeah, नहीं?
Yeah. So friends, if you have any question, you can raise your hands. You can ask your question from the our faculty DC sir, 101. I'll unmute you one by one. Yes, Hemanji, you can ask your question. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. Sir, I want to know about the after level 4. If we will clear after level 4, then when we will get the that license for doing the personal job. It's need 4 year of experience or not?
So, Hemant, are you talking? Hi, Hemant, by the way. Are you talking about the certification? FPSP, CFP certification is what you're talking
the
about?
certification is get at the end of the fourth model, which is the
Fourth level.
Fourth level.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But
yes.
the license for doing a
The
personal
RIA,
job,
the SEBI RIA is what you're talking about?
yes.
So for that, Hemant, as I explained, right, that you will have to approach SEBI for that. Plus, you need to have that experience of one is you need 5 years of BFSI experience, and second is in terms of education, you need to be a master. Maybe someone who's an MBA or a CA or a CFA. So they have their own criteria to give the license.
Okay.
But apart from that, their requirement for certification, yes, CFP just is the right choice for that. So that is very valid. You can use your certification to approach them and to avail the license from SEBI.
Yeah, but somehow they didn't get me. They did not provide the license
So
just
then,
on behalf
then
of CFP certificate, right?
no,
They
you need
need,
to. I said no. You need to have. They have some criteria on education and experience also, my friend.
yeah.
So
So
that has
so
to. Yes.
actually, I have cleared my only bachelor's. Okay. So, but I have a experience in brokerage from 1 year and investment banking in 1 year. So that 2 year which I was spent, that will be counted or not?
No, I think the 1 year can be counted, and but you, in terms of your education, also you are just a graduate, right? They need minimum post graduation there,
Yeah, yeah.
or a CA
I'll
or
be
a
do
CFA.
in next
Yeah,
two years, of course.
then Hemant, you can certainly look forward to getting a license from SEBI.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Yes, Sunil Sharma ji, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, hi Rishi. Rishi, my
Hi.
I have two questions. One is, what is the difference between CFP and Chartered Wealth Manager course?
Okay.
Number one, and number two, when we say that CFP is internationally recognized in so many countries, since this curriculum is all designed around how India operates and the taxation and kind of stuff. What do we exactly mean? So, like, if I'm a CFP, does that mean that I can go and directly operate out of any country which recognizes this degree?
Sunil, I'll answer both. In fact, these are very good questions and very relevant questions that you've asked. So good. Thank you for asking these questions. The first one is about comparing CFP with CWM, right? So Sunil, I am myself a CFP, and I have, when I actually shortlisted which is the best course for in the personal finance. So CWM actually doesn't stand anywhere close to CFP. In fact, if I just share some of the insights, is there was one CWM aspirant who called me. I mean, he contacted us last week to help, because he wanted help to understand the basics of how do you use the calculator and how do you actually try to do time value of money. So it's that bad. Here, CFPs, the curriculum is more intensive. The skill sets are more, rigorous, and there is nowhere in terms of the financial plan which you are going to prepare in level 4, you will really, I mean, I felt really awesome when I could make it. I thought, can this be made by me? Yes, of course, because you've done that kind of hard work, hard labor you've put in the 3 levels, right? So then that, I would say, there's no comparison at all. And second, your question on, can you operate globally? So Sunil, what I can tell you is, let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say you want to operate out of Singapore, right? And you've taken this certification in India. So this is, since this certification is being provided by FPSB, my friend, this is recognized globally. Singapore, the local board of CFP there is going to recognize it, but they will ask you at least to give maybe, I think, 1 or 2 exams for the taxation element, because taxation is different there, right? So usko chhod ke rest, this certification is valid. So I can tell, I think, if you want to operate out of Thailand, I think they just invite Indian CFPs. You don't need you don't need to sit for any other exams there. But yes, for Singapore, I know you need to sit for a taxation exam. For, if you want to go to Australia, again, you need to sit for one taxation, and I think one more ethics exam is what is there. But this basic is recognized in 27 countries where the CFP practice is based off. Okay.
Hello.
That is
Yes.
just a cross border examination you have to.
Yeah. One or two exams that you have to sit based on the respective geography.
Okay. मतलब out of India,
Hmm.
out of countries में भी CFP के लिए vacancies है. That's means.
27 countries में है ना, valid है ये, सबके अलग अलग अपने respective boards है, but
Yeah.
if I get
The
it from India, I
taxes.
just,
Yeah. So everyone have the different taxes rules, so they have their
Right.
own
So we have to
exams,
prepare.
right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Kanaya ji, we can take the next question.
Vijay ji, please go ahead. And I'll also request you, if you can switch on your camera, would be great to interact.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible, sir?
You are loud and clear.
Yes,
Please
sir.
go ahead.
Loud and clear.
या थैंक यू सर फॉर अ वंडरफुल सेशन, मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा और
Thank you, sir.
अच्छे तरह से आपने सब समझाया। बट सर मेरे 2-4 क्वेश्चन है रिगार्डिंग पर्सनली रिगार्डिंग मी। मैं पिछले 5 साल से म्यूचुअल फंड इंडस्ट्री में काम कर रहा हूँ एज अ म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर, और मैं बाय प्रोफेशन टीचर भी हूँ, अकाउंट्स पढ़ाता हूँ।
Mhm.
और तीसरा ये है कि मैं स्टॉक मार्केट सीख रहा हूँ पिछले 2 साल से, तो उसमें काफ़ी मैंने कोर्सेज एनरोल किए हैं, ट्रेडिंग वगैरह, और ये सब मैं कर रहा हूँ। So
Mhm.
what I look myself that I want to be, set up myself as a coach, and for that I am just learning and making some courses. So how this course can help me? मुझे थोड़ा ये जानना है।
सर आपको ये कोर्स करके ना आपको एक पर्सनल फाइनेंस का कोच बना देगा। यू कैन जस्ट गो एंड सी ऑन यूट्यूब हाउ पीपल सम ऑफ आवर एलुमनाइज आल्सो जस्ट सी अनंत लादा कैसे वो पर्सनल फाइनेंस में बहुत बड़ा नाम है आज की डेट में, बिकॉज
Yes,
वो एक कोच बन सकते हैं। आपको सारे डायनेमिक समझ में आ जाएंगे कि एक इंडिविजुअल की लाइफ में क्या रिक्वायरमेंट्स हैं, उसके क्या गोल्स हो सकते हैं, उसको कैसे डिफाइन कर सकते हैं, कैसे स्ट्रैटेजी डिजाइन कर सकते हैं। आप कोच
नहीं
बन
सर,
सकते
वो सब तो मुझे समझ में आ गया। मुझे थोड़ा क्वेश्चन
हैं।
ये है कि क्या ये कोर्स जैसे कुछ, जैसे हम टैक्स फाइल करते हैं तो उसमें कुछ हेल्प करेगा क्या? मतलब मैं खुद ही टैक्स फाइल कर पाऊंगा अपनी और अपने क्लाइंट्स की, या उसके लिए टैक्स को सीए को है वो करना पड़ेगा कुछ?
सर when you go through the tax module level 2 में जो आप पढ़ेंगे तो आप अपना रिटर्न फाइल कर पाएंगे। और मैं तो सर इसको एक बिजनेस की तरह देखता हूँ कि पॉइंट ये आ जाता है कि टैक्स मॉड्यूल पढ़ के व्हाट विल हैपन इज योर माइंड इज गोइंग टू बी ट्यून्ड दैट एवरी investment you will look at from the taxation angle ki what is the tax, whether when somebody is getting an income, is there tax on that, or during the liquidation taxation कितना होगा। so मेरा माइंड अब वैसे काम करता है। so मैं प्रोडक्ट
अच्छा।
को पहले टैक्सेशन के साइड से भी देखता हूँ। so मेरी
यस सर।
एडवाइस टू क्लाइंट इज नॉट ओनली अबाउट द प्रोडक्ट फीचर्स ऑफ दैट बट टैक्सेशन ऑल्सो, कि अल्टीमेटली अगर रिटायरमेंट के टाइम में अगर उसको ज्यादा टैक्स लग गया तो वो मेरा क्लाइंट फिर नहीं रहेगा सर। सो
यस सर।
दिस इज गोइंग टू हेल्प अस टू टैक्सेशन में। ये है कि अब आपको ये सीए नहीं बना देगा, इतना स्पेशलिस्ट नहीं करेगा, लेकिन ये मॉड्यूल आपको 5 हेड्स के बारे में बताएगा। सो आप कैपिटल गेन्स अपना भी अगर आपने कोई हाउस बेचा है तो उसको भी डिजाइन कर पाओगे, क्लाइंट का भी कर पाओगे, इतना आप कर सकते हो बेस्ड ऑन दिस। बट इज ऑफ कोर्स सीए जितना नहीं होगा बट सफिशिएंट अमाउंट ऑफ टैक्सेशन नॉलेज आपको आएगी।
ओके। और सर
It
जैसे मेरा अभी जो एनएसएम का म्यूचुअल फंड का हर 3 साल में रिन्यूअल होता है, और इन्वेस्टमेंट का हम उसमें करते हैं, उसकी भी फीस जाती है, तो ये अलग से करना पड़ेगा इन्वेस्टमेंट वाला, या इसमें करना पड़ेगा वो? जैसे जो आपने
इन्वेस्ट
कोर्स जो इन्वेस्टमेंट का होता है ना, एनएसएम का एग्जाम।
5A।
5A की बात आप कर रहे हैं, नहीं वो
हाँ हाँ।
अलग हो गया ना सर। वो तो हर 3 साल में आपने करना है क्योंकि वो रिक्वायरमेंट है। बट हमारी बोर्ड की ये रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है, यहाँ पे आपको सर्टिफिकेशन सिर्फ रिन्यू करना होता है एवरी ईयर।
अच्छा। अच्छा, सर्टिफिकेशन रिन्यू होता है हर साल?
रिन्यू रिन्यू होता है। यू हैव टू अर्न 15 सीपीडी पॉइंट्स बोलते हैं, विच इज कंटिन्यूस प्रोफेशनल डेवलपमेंट पॉइंट्स होते हैं। वो आपको अर्न करने होते हैं बेस्ड ऑन अटेंडिंग वेबिनार्स, अटेंडिंग सेमिनार्स एंड रीडिंग जर्नल्स, आंसरिंग क्विजेस, इस बेसिस पे होता है।
अच्छा, मतलब वो जो एनएसएम के कोर्स हैं वो रेगुलरली रिन्यू करने पड़ेंगे आफ्टर 3 इयर्स, जैसे इन्वेस्टमेंट वाला है या
क्योंकि
म्यूचुअल फंड वाला है?
आपको अगर अपना एआरएन कंटिन्यू रखना है सर तो फिर तो करना ही पड़ेगा ना।
तो सर ये जैसे मैंने उसमें पूछा था, तो म्यूचुअल फंड वाले तो फीस वगैरह चार्ज कर नहीं सकते हैं, बट इन्वेस्टमेंट एडवाइजर फीस चार्ज कर सकता है। तो ये साइमल्टेनियसली साथ चलता है या इसको छोड़ना पड़ेगा? जैसे मैंने सब ब्रोकरशिप के लिए भी अप्लाई किया था, तो मेरा बहुत कंफ्यूजन है इस चीज को लेकर के कि मैं किस चीज को आगे लेके जाऊं।
विजय जी देखिए बात समझिए, दो वेज है ऑपरेट करने के सीएफपी करने के बाद। अगर आप सेबी का आरआईए लाइसेंस लेते हैं तो
जी।
आप फिर हो जाएंगे फी ओनली फाइनेंशियल एडवाइजर। तो वहां पे आप चार्ज कर सकते हैं फिर फी। आप उसको एक प्लान बना के देंगे क्लाइंट को, वो आपका प्रोडक्ट होगा क्लाइंट के लिए। आप एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में एंटर करेंगे और उस कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में बहुत क्लियरली लिखा होगा कि ये फी मैं चार्ज करूंगा आपसे।
ओके।
सेबी उस चीज को देखता है, ये वन चीज है। फी ओनली
ठीक।
हो गया। तो उसके
ठीक।
बाद क्या हो गया कि आपके एग्जिस्टिंग क्लाइंट्स को ना सर आपको सेग्रीगेट करना पड़ेगा कि किसको मैं कमीशन बेस में रख रहा हूँ, किसको मैं फी बेस में रख रहा हूँ। आप मिक्स नहीं कर सकते दोनों चीज।
समझ गया। तो
समझ
मतलब
गए।
ये
और
साइमल्टेनियसली।
दूसरा ऑप्शन है, अगर आप लाइसेंस नहीं लेते हैं तो आप अपने एमएफडी के साथ वर्टिकल्स ऐड करिए, आप रिटायरमेंट प्लानिंग ऐड करिए। टैक्स में एक जूनियर आर्टिकलशिप कोई सीए कर रहा है उसको ऐड कर लीजिए अपने साथ, आप रिटायरमेंट प्लानिंग करिए, आप इंश्योरेंस के प्रोडक्ट्स उनको एडवाइस करिए, तो पूरा एक फाइनेंशियल प्लान बनाइए और सारे प्रोडक्ट्स दीजिए, तो वो आपका कमीशन बेस्ड मॉडल है, सीएफपी भी आप ऑपरेट कर सकते हो, तो उसमें आरआईए की जरूरत नहीं है। तो दो वेज है, एक कमीशन बेस्ड है और एक आरआईए बेस्ड है विच इज ओनली फी बेस्ड। वो आपको डिसाइड करना है कि आप कैसे फॉरवर्ड जाना चाहते हैं।
मतलब उसमें से एक ही करना पड़ेगा आपको, आप दोनों नहीं कर सकते।
नहीं, अगर आप आरआईए लाइसेंस लेते हो तो आपको अपने क्लाइंट्स को सेग्रीगेट करना पड़ेगा कि जिनको मैं कमीशन बेस करता हूँ तो वही कर सकता हूँ, और जिनको मैं फी बेस करता हूँ तो मैं फी बेस, तो उसमें फिर डायरेक्ट प्रोडक्ट्स की इन्वेस्टमेंट आती है। यू कैन हेल्प हिम बट ओनली डायरेक्ट, यू कैन चार्ज कमीशन एंड ऑल्सो फीस, वो दोनों चीज अलाउड नहीं है सर,
हाँ, मतलब एक ही मॉड्यूल पे आपको काम करना पड़ेगा।
एक ही मॉडल पे काम
ठीक सर, थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सो मच सर।
है।
Thank
मोस्ट
you.
वेलकम सर।
VVS Narayana Rao. Sir, please go ahead.
जी I heard your class. It is a fantastic one. What I meant to
थैंक यू सर।
say, I am MBA Finance and mutual fund distributor. वो एग्जाम हो गया हमारा. I'm recently only 1 month back only I have finished my mutual fund exam and all. I'm very much interested to join this course also. But because I'm 61 now, I should become as you said right now to the aspirants. Personal, I would like to become a coach only. So, which way I can pursue the further career, further life? Can you please show them?
Sir, do you, I mean, you want an advice on the career, or you want advice on how would you go about this course? I mean, what's you,
No,
I'm just trying to
how do you go about it, sir?
the CFP course.
Yeah, CFP course. With CFP course, if I take it up, the whatever you way, regular way or challenging way, whatever it is, and after the finish of that course, how can I go about it in my further life? That's all.
Sir, this is something I always suggest my students, so I can always share this thing with you, is that once you complete level 1, let's say you come for the regular pathway, fine, and because you want to become a coach, so I would advise you should go for the regular pathway, because you will get intensive knowledge of every module, everything which is there.
Okay.
So then when you complete level 1, so you will have enough knowledge, my sir, in terms of the time value of money and investment planning, the products and all, that you can start your you can start using your thoughts for writing. I have a student in my session who writes frequently on LinkedIn, and he sends posts to us. He's just joined us a couple of days back.
Okay.
So he's again an MFD. He's based out of Delhi. He called me up last week saying, I'm an MFD. I want to make big in this career. So how do I do it? Is I've started writing on my LinkedIn posts. Right. So people, even, after completing first level, वो लोग start कर देते हैं अपने neighbors को, clients को बताना कि, I've started, I am pursuing CFP and I am getting into this business. So I can at least, after level 1, you will be better advisor than what you are writing. That is what I can guarantee you. So the journey starts after level 1 also. Why to wait till level 4? आप 2, 3 पहले ही आप अपने clients को advisory शुरू कर सकते हो. Of course, you have to wait. Fee only, you can only do it after you complete CFP and then आपने RI apply किया. But commission based और इस पे तो आप अपने, आपको product की knowledge मिलेगी ना सर. अभी आप सिर्फ mutual funds देख रहे हो. But then you will get much more knowledge. We'll be discussing about fixed income. You will be made to understand what are bonds, how do bonds play, how does the interest rate impact bonds. So then advice to the clients based on that. So all elements of that we're gonna study in only in level 1 only. तो उसके बाद अब अपनी advisory or expanding your service, you can always start it after that also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
and start writing. I mean, you start with your आप level 1 start करो, साथ में writing शुरू करो, आपको thoughts आने शुरू हो जाते हैं sir, because you will get so much of new information that you didn't had. I didn't have. I am myself an MBA financer, but then personal finance में CFP is much more specialist. Time value of money was just one chapter in my entire 2 years of my masters. So then and here it's a full module. It's a huge in-depth thing over here.
Okay, 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 okay. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot.
Most welcome, sir.
Madhusudan ji, please go ahead.
सर मेरे दो क्वेश्चन है. नंबर वन, क्लास कौन टाइम में हो, व्हेन विल बी ऑनलाइन क्लास?
Sir, our next class, our weekend classes is starting from today. So if you enroll today, you will be able to join this batch. Also, our next challenge pathway batch is starting from next week.
No, sir. My concern is that I am insurance agent since 20 years. So I am busy in my work. So I like to know your online time schedule.
Okay. So 2 hours on Saturday and 2 hours on Sunday. So we have two modes of the classes. One is on the weekdays and one on the weekend for the regular pathway. For weekdays, we provide late evening classes, probably 7:30 to 9:30. And on weekends, we have early morning classes on the Saturday and late evening classes on the Sunday. So 2 hours on Sunday or 2 hours on Saturday. So it will be very easy for working professional like you to manage your classes.
Yes, sir. It will be comfortable to me. Number two, this CFP certificate is needed to renew every year.
Yes, yes, sir. It is required.
It is required.
Yes,
Then
if you want to add your name like Madhusudan CFP or prefix, suffix or
I think
prefix,
now
then you need to
yeah, I would also put it, Kanhaiya, just sorry to interrupt in between, is I would just put it as that it depends also in terms, if you're having your own practice, let's say you are doing an insurance, now you want to add verticals. For you, it is going to be very critical to, renew it every year because the clients would first come and see your credentials. That fine, you are an agent, but you are also a CFP. But for someone who's, let's say, he's working in a corporate and the corporate is okay that, okay, you're delaying it for some time due to some reason. So that is fine. But at times I've seen in these days, even the corporates are a little stringent. Ki aap CFP ho to aapki certification should be valid. Just to tell you something about it. Because sir, when you put it on the, I'll tell you, sir, what my practical experience is. When you put it on the wall, that adds value. Clients try to understand that there is so much of credential which is added. This gentleman has the difference, the USP is he's really worked hard to get this over here, which is not easily available, right? So then that means he has that kind of a metal and the skill set to deliver much better compared to anybody else. Yeah, sorry Kanhaiya,
सर रिन्यू जो होगा आपके तरफ से तो हो जाएगा ना?
सर वो बोर्ड करता है और वो उसमें कोई बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज नहीं होता है सर. वो 15 CPD पॉइंट्स लेने होते हैं उसमें. मतलब जैसे कि you have to attend webinars and seminars. I attended a webinar last week based out of Calcutta. So उसमें 3 points मुझे मिले. It was a 6-hour session. So you have to go through that. At times they will also ask you to read journals. FPSP board की journals आती है. And also appeared some quiz. So idea is to upgrade your knowledge. The hand holding and the connect should continue. That's the main aim of the board in this process.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
CA Meher.
Hello, sir. Thank you for the session.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. So my question is, see, I'm a chartered accountant who is in a salaried job currently. For the last 10 years, I've been in various sectors. And in BFSI sector, I've been there for the last 1.5 years. So am I eligible to take up the challenger path?
Yes, ma'am. So every CA is eligible to pursue the challenge pathway.
But Kanhaiya, the 3 years of experience in BFSI, how will that be matched?
Yeah, that was my worry.
So the articleship is also counted.
Acha, articleship here, right?
Yes.
So then what I would suggest, Meher, is can you just send your details to one of the counselors and they can always get it checked once. I think that's the best way of doing it.
I would prefer if this clarity is had firsthand from the board once, or from your facilitators.
That is what I'm saying. Na? So just send it. Just call one of the counselors and share your details, and they'll get an approval. And
Sure,
We
sir.
will get candidature check first from the board, and then we will update you. Accordingly, you can enroll.
Sure. Thank you, Rishi sir. It was a very informative and useful session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Looking forward to you joining us.
Yes, sir. Same here. Thank you.
Okay. Most welcome.
Yes, Sujata ji, please go ahead. You can ask your question.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Sujata ji.
I'm a 49 years old ex-banker. I have a 21 years of banking experience. And I want to ask is, according to my age, after doing this course, will I get a hands-on experience so that I can do for further practice or entrepreneurship? So I need first the hands-on experience. So where I can get that after this completing this course?
So you want the experience along with the skill set, right? That's what you're asking, ma'am?
Yes,
Sujata ji?
yes, sir.
Then maybe one is you can work under a CFP. The other is you can work with an MFD. Because my point is, it's going to be better if you work with someone who's in the advisory space right now, along with your CFP, because ultimately your aim is to actually start a practice. So then how do you, communicate with clients? How do you actually engage with clients? How do you find clients? So all that is something you will only know when you work with any of the, let's say, an MFD or with the CFP or maybe someone who is in this advisory space. And along with that, of course, get the skill sets, because ultimately your aim is to start your own vertical. Your banking experience, ma'am, will certainly help here. I'm sure it is going to help you. But the idea is, as you rightly said, skills and experience both is required to start. You need to, I'm sure you want to make it big. So then, yes, that's the way which I can suggest.
Okay, will the institute will help me in getting any hands-on experience, any contacts, or you have any agencies or placements so that I can get some experience practical?
Sujata ji, for people who are let's say in level 3, or people who have cleared their CFPs, we do have inquiries from corporates for getting them placed. But that's only when you are actually in the journey. Because the idea is that we can provide good CFPs to the corporates, and that's the way it is. That's the way we get inquiries for. But in your case, you will have to join us before I can guide you something on that.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Sujata ji.
Thank you, ma'am. Ranveer Chaudhary ji, please go ahead. You can ask your question.
Hello, Rishi ji. Thank you so much for the presentation. So, I have a background in financial services. I was there in the BPO sector. So and then eventually I was also in the personal financial and wealth management sector. So I wanted to know that if I, do the CFP course, and because you said this course is valid around different countries, like 25 countries. So sitting in India, can we provide this service online via online to the countries there? Is that a possibility, or
based on the information, Ranveer ji, based on the information that I have, what I think this was something which I was discussing with someone, I think 2 weeks back.
Okay.
The idea is that, ideally the way the different geographies look at it is, you need to at least have one CFP as in the front end there, a local CFP, who can then give all the work to you. Yes. So straight away outsourcing, I'm not sure, because I know a firm based out of Australia where they have a front end office, a small office, but they're routing everything to their back-end office in Australia, in Ahmedabad. So that's the way it is.
Where do they have their back-end office?
It's in Ahmedabad.
Ahmedabad, okay. No, that,
So
I mean,
that's
that is the technical aspect, but I just want to
right.
know, I mean, in
The
terms of
back-end,
qualification, are we
back-end,
eligible?
what I mean by back-end is basically their only setup where they have CFPs or other qualified people sitting here, and then they have front-end CFPs, Australian CFPs who are sitting in just the office for getting the work. Huh.
No,
So
okay.
what is your question now, Ranbir ji?
Yeah, so I mean, that was a question. I mean, is that a possibility? If we
Only
can.
when you can, only when you can maybe ally with someone who's a CFP who can be a front end, and then you can do the work here.
So,
I would
but in
also like
terms
to
of
add, Rishi sir, I would also like to add something here.
Please
See,
carry on.
for Australia or US, Canada, any place, if you are willing to advise their local people, you have to clear their local taxation exam, right?
exactly.
And then definitely you will be eligible to cater those people also from online.
Okay. And another question I had, sir, in the 3 or 4 levels that you have, do you have any courses on financial psychology? Because personal finance has got to do a lot with financial
Not
psychology.
Ranbir ji, not I'll tell you what we have. In level 1, we have a lengthy chapter on the behavioral biases. Okay. Plus CFP board, in fact, both the CFP board US and FPSB board, which handles the CFP practice globally, they do a lot of funding for, on getting research on investment psychology. So there's a very beautiful book from the CFP board US, which is known as the Psychology of Finance.
Okay.
So these things are some things that you can probably read. These are the best of the best material that is available on understanding investor psychology.
Okay.
Plus, we also do have behavioral biases. We'll have a lengthy chapter. You have questions also coming in an exam on that. So whatever is available in the scope with us with us in the CFP practice in India, that all we'll do. But yes, we do have it. As I mentioned, behavioral coaching is certainly these days it's a very big element from a CFP. I mean, that is one of his great USPs.
Okay, thank you so much.
Rishi sir, couple of questions I can see in the chat box.
Ji.
Can you take it from there?
I think Amit and Sanjay, I answered them. Any names that you can, I mean, I'm just trying to see. Bhaskar Ganguly. Bhaskar ji, can you ensure a job? See, we cannot ensure a job, but we can always, we can always guide your CVs and also guide you to the right, the organizations which are hiring CFPs. That much I can do. Because I had, let's say last week, I had a requirement for a CFP, but she needed to be a girl, and that was out of Bombay. There's some requirement that we have for getting CFPs for an RIA practice based out of Bangalore. So ऐसा आता रहता है. Ensure का मैं नहीं, I mean, that also depends on how good you are as a CFP in terms of your skill set. But of course, we can guide you for that. We are known in the industry that we also support placements in CFP, which no other EP does. So that I can guarantee we do that. Frequently we do.
Rishi sir, the another question I can see from Amit ji is, hi, I am not from the finance background. The idea to attend this session is look forward to add skill set which can help me create additional source of income. Will the CFP help me to achieve the same?
Now, I think I already answered to, I think he did a direct message to me and I've already answered him on that. That's been done. Amit, Amit को मैं answer कर चुका हूँ करेगा. I'm looking forward to someone. I think Vijay has already asked. Nagaraja to everyone. Are CFPs on brokerage basis or fee based? Sir, I explained to you. It can be both ways. You have to decide how do you want to go forward with. You can apply for an RIA license or you can go for a commission based also.
A couple of questions I can see on the fee.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Board fee and the course fee. So if you can just quickly provide a glimpse of the total fee of FBSB and the fee of ISWP that charge. Just take your slide back.
Okay. Kanaya, can you take this up for a minute? I am just coming.
Sure. So friends, the FBSB registration fee is 18,000 rupees. That is valid for 1 year. This is the board fee I'm explaining. Then FBSB e-book, that is mandatory to you have to subscribe from the FBSB USA board, right? For each level, from level 1 to 3, it will charge 6,500 rupees, and for level 4 it will be 13,000 rupees. The best thing is that we will also give you some coupons, which you when you go to buy this book. When you go to buy these books, you can apply those coupons and you will be flat able to avail 50% discount on the e-books. The another thing is FBSB exam fee. Level wise 1 to 3, it will cost you 6,750 rupees, and for level 4, it will be 13,000 rupees. Altogether, it comes to 33,250 rupees. Then in the final exam, just go the back.
Sorry.
Yes, and then the financial plan assessment. So this is also mandatory in the level 4. It will cost you 10,500 rupees. If we add all together, this is, sir, if you can add this fee.
Close to around 94,000.
94,000, and then you can exclude the 16,000, approx 16,000 rupees, for which we will provide you a coupon. You can apply for FBSB books.
78,250.
Yes.
78,000 rupees. So it will be your fee for FBSB board regular pathway, right? Next, go to this next slide.
Challenge pathway, okay.
Challenge pathway. So in challenge pathway, I mean, there is no coupons you can apply. Kisan, if you can add all together.
This is around 62,000 some. 62,000.
62,000 rupees. So, okay, so let's come to our on fee, ISWP fees.
Yeah.
Yes, so friends, all together for virtual class, it will cost you 44,900 rupees. You can exclude your 5,000 rupees if you enroll today. The 10% discount that Rishi sir has already explained. So it will be close to 40,000 rupees, 40,000 plus 72,000. 1,10,000 or 12,000 rupees. It will be a total fee for your CFP regular pathway. For e-learning, it will approx 62,000 rupees that Kisan you said for the no, sorry. So the
62 is for the challenge pathway and 72,000 on about for the FPSB. Only 10,000 different amount in the e-learning and the challenge pathway college part fee structure.
Right. So around 85 to 90,000 rupees for the challenge pathway. So friends, you don't have to pay all fee at one go. A level wise, step by step, you have to pay throughout the year your fee to FBSB. So that means when you are ready to take your exam for level 1, we advise you to register at that moment, because your registration window is valid for 1 year. So approx 2 months of 2.5 months of training. When you complete for level 1, we advise you to register at that moment for FBSB registration fee, that 18,000 rupees, and then a level wise level you can pay your fees. What is the difference between NISM 10A, 10B, and CFP? Rishi sir, you there?
Yeah. NISM 10A, 10B, and CFP. My friend, what I would advise is just you can just look at the curriculum The NISM 10 and 10B is only the curriculum is way, I mean, it's no way comparable to what we teach in CFP in terms of, that is more focused on investment products and advice. But here we are going to talk about taxation also, retirement also, insurance also, estate also, time value of money also, and then investment products. Of course, that could be a little common there. So this is much, I mean, the scope is much wider here. That is specific to modules which have been released by NCFM. So that's the case. But I mean, you can't compare this as well as you can't even compare CWM. So I think that's my advice. I mean, when I thought of going for it, so I saw the content. I mean, how much more value I can add if I do this in my journey, right? And that's the way it is.
All right, so I cannot see any question unanswered, sir. Okay, so one question is very Rajesh ji is asking, is it mandatory to clear all the levels? What happened if someone clear level 1 only and don't want to go further due to any reason? So friends,
Sir,
yes,
please
sir.
continue. Please continue.
Oh, so you can. So friends, you are also eligible to take a specialist certification, level-wise certification. Likewise, the CFP level 1 investment planning specialist. So you can mention that you are an investment planning specialist. So BSB has recently, not recently, it's been already 3 years, has changed the module that you can go for a level-wise certification.
So I think the larger message that Kanaya is trying to give here is that after, let's say you complete level 1, so you will be given a certificate by the FPFC board, which is not going to be a CFP certification, sir, but it is going to be named as investment planning specialist. And I know so many people who are in their journey, they are using, like there's one who has completed level 3, but he is still not, he's done level 1 and level 3, but he's not done level 2. So he's using those certificates. He's an insurance advisor. He's using that and trying to get more business that, now I am also an investment specialist. So those level-wise certifications do really help. That's actually a value add in terms of, okay, fine, I couldn't do my journey due to some reason, which I will definitely come again for. But at the moment, if I've cleared a level, I do get a certification.
Hemanji is asking, when we can add CFP as a prefix on our name after 4th level, or need 4 years of experience?
Nay, it is only possible, sir, when you are given this certification by the board. You will get a mail from them saying, yes, we declare you are a CFP and this is a certification that we are giving you. Only after that. Because when you're getting that certificate, only then they are allowing you to use that CFP mark. Not before that, sir, you're not allowed. It is monitored by the board that I cannot use it if I don't have it.
Similar to a CA or CS, you have to renew it.
The renewal is okay, but first to get it is only when the CFP board declares that they are giving the certificate to you, and when you've got it. Then they mention to you, there's a big detailed mail which comes in terms of how do you have to use the name, how it has to be, whether it should be a prefix, suffix, what should be the font size. So they give you all the details of that then.
Okay, great. So with this, we would like to wind up this session, sir. I am already getting messages. We have a class schedule on the same panel from 1:30.
Sure.
So thank you so much, Rishi sir. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Kanaya. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I hope we have been able to give you the larger message that India is growing, and we also, it's our duty to contribute in that, and also to grow ourselves, right? So with that, I'll take your I mean, I just want to say thank you all, and All the best. Looking forward to you joining us and getting on a journey of this beautiful international, global recognized gold standard certification when it comes to personal finance. Thank you so much. Signing off. Bye bye.
Thank you.